with our second video of the installment with using your feathers that you're getting out in the field. So last week we used our pheasant tail feather and tied a Frenchie. This week we are going to use some hen feathers and tie a different nymph. This is a pattern that I've kind of used a different handful of materials with over the years in doing our March brown nymph. So first of all, before we get into the video, make sure that you like and subscribe. We're putting out a video every single Monday, hopefully through the whole 2021, and want to make sure that you guys are grabbing all the great information. So, like I said, today we're using some hen feathers from a pheasant and putting a great nymph pattern together for you. So, hope you enjoy the video, and we're going to get right into it and get a little close up so you guys can see a little better. Okay, so we're going to go through the step-by-step for this nymph pattern. So you can actually use a lot of the same materials and just kind of change up the coloration for different nymphs out there, like your Hendricks and sulfurs, ISOs, things like that. So today is the March brown. We're going to use a size 10 on our 92-21 barbless nymph hook. We're going to throw a copper bead on it in tungsten, and then we're also going to take one of our other newer materials out. We just added these tungsten nymph rings here. So we got these in, I think, 4 different colors. This helps to add a hot spot or just a little bit of extra color into your pattern here. So what we're going to do, take our hook, slide the bead on first. Copper, just like copper for this pattern. And you're going to take the nymph ring, or the neck ring, whatever you want to call it, slide it right on there up behind it. So adds a little bit of weight, and then also adds that hot spot in there. So today we're using just some feathers off of a hen pheasant to create this pattern. We're going to use it in 2 different spots. We're going to use it for the tail and also the shell back. So just like everything else, start your thread. So we're going to take one of our feathers, all the fluff on there, we're just going to strip off because we don't need that. And we're just going to build the tail in with some of these feathers here. So just strip some off, try to even them up the best that you can. Some eyes are pretty short. I'm going to tie these in. Wrap the whole thing up. You can cut off the excess. It doesn't matter too much because this doesn't have a whole lot of bulk to it. And then with most of our nymphs, we're going to add some sort of wire, just using a copper wire, match the bead, keep everything uniform. A little piece of copper wire all the way up to that hot spot neck ring. Where do we want to start our body? All I'm using here is just a basic hare's ear. I'm going to dub the whole way up here and wrap it up with our copper wire. So do a little bit at a time. You don't want 10 inches of dubbing. So just add a little bit at a time. Like I said in the last video, a little bit of spit goes a long way when you're dubbing. What you're going to do is just taper your body a little bit in the back as you're starting to cover, and then build it up as you're building up through the fly itself. A little bit more to finish this off. Okay, so now we know what we wrap the one way, we want to counter wrap the other way with our copper wire. Tie that in. People are saying, well, you don't have any room, but I'll show you what I do in this pattern to put the wing case in. So we're going to take another feather from our hens. You want one that has some pretty long fibers on it for this part. So you're going to build the wing case in, and you're also going to put some legs in too. So you're stripping all the fluff off. And get a pretty thick piece here. I like to peel it off rather than cut it off because all the fibers still kind of stick together. All you're going to do on this is you're going to tie it upside down, because when we pull it over top, you're going to get that wing case on the top. So I'm tying it right behind that orange bead. Kind of straighten it on top there. And you're actually going to take your thread, you need a little bit of slack sometimes, and split the bead and the tungsten ring. And you're going to pull this over top. Tie it in. Try to keep everything on the top of the fly itself. And as you can see, as you give a little bit of tension on them, everything's going to split. And all you're going to do is try to even all that out. One set on one side, one set on the other. It doesn't need to be that way. You can actually tie it almost like a wet fly as well, and have these legs be wrapped the whole way around. So if you hold them into place and you make a handful of thread wraps, you'll be able to keep them in that spot. But with the gap in between the bead and that tungsten neck ring, sometimes takes a few extra wraps. So that's it. I feel like the orange, especially on March browns and sulfurs, seems to be just a little intricate part that kind of sets some flies apart, and the fish seem to take them a little bit better. So pull a little bit of tension there. You can throw a second whip in if you want. And there it is. So now you see that on top. You get a little bit of orange all the way through there. And great pattern. So I've been catching a lot of fish during our March brown hatches on this pattern. You can utilize, like we did today, with the hen pheasant, or can you use partridge, any other sort of like wet fly material for your legs and your tail. But this is a great pattern. I love the little bit of orange in there. You can either throw a second bead in, or you can throw one of our tungsten rings in like this. And pretty easy pattern. You can also substitute size-wise, color-wise on your dubbing. Like I said, you can match in your sulfurs, your Hendricksons, some good early season hatches that are going to happen here in the next few months, and tie up a bunch of these great nymphs. Thanks guys for checking out this video. We incorporated some hen pheasant feathers that we took out in the field just a couple weeks ago. Threw them into one of our flies. Like I said, you can actually add it into a handful of different patterns for the upcoming spring. Last and not least, thank you guys again for watching the video. Like and subscribe, throw any comment down there, let us know how you like these. We're going to continue to put videos out every single week, and we look forward to showing you some new stuff here in the future.